I love Kirby. Welcome back to New Rockstars. This is The Big Question, the show that gives you too much information on why God has to constantly go to the character creation screen every time he wants to come walk around on Earth and harass us NPCs, just trying to live our lives and not get fragged by the main player. All right, we're trying to live out here, all right? My name is MT, and I'm here today with off-screen producer, my brother, Brandon.
Hello, MT. Brandon? Yes, I'm definitely an NPC. I am not the main player in this game, my friend. I'm happy to be an NPC, though. I'm the guy in the town who's always got a good joke for you when you walk up and you're like, I just need quest information. I have useless jokes. That's all I got.
I'm the NPC jester in the town. I'm like, hello, everybody. I'm crazy. But anyway, what's our big question for today, Brandon?
Well, MT, in the latest episode of Moon Knight, we learned more about how Khonshu uses his human avatars on Earth as a fist of vengeance. But why does he go to all this trouble dealing with us annoying meatbags who don't want to listen to him, don't want his voice in our head, and think he looks freaky and is scary? We're scared in the elevators. We're screaming. Why doesn't he just come down on Earth and do things himself? You know what I mean? Take a page out of Thanos' book.
Fine, I'll do it myself.
That leads us to this week's big question. Why does Khonshu need an avatar? Why?
Again, we're not talking about Avatar, The Last Airbender here. We're not talking about the blue people Avatar, the inferior Avatar,
MT,
in my opinion.
I see
Avatar,
you.
Last Airbender.
I see you,
Let's
MT.
go.
I see you.
No, don't
You
see
are a
me.
baby.
I need it.
You are a baby.
Editors, edit an arrow, my head blue arrow like Aang, okay? I have the baldness for it, so it's easy, all right?
Yeah.
I'm an Aang boy.
Yeah.
Team Avatar, The Last
team
Airbender, all the
anime,
way.
I'm team 3D blue people. That's right.
Anyway, but that is an interesting question for sure. And you're right. For whatever reason, the gods of Egyptian mythology just can't come down to Earth and do what they want. And this rule doesn't seem to apply to some other gods that we've seen in the MCU, like the Asgardians that we've seen hanging around with the Norse people like sometime in the past, and the Celestials. And in the second episode of Moon Knight, Arthur Harrow mentions that Khonshu was banished, and he seems to insinuate that this banishment is the reason that Khonshu needs to use an avatar, in this case being, Marc Spector. But can we trust what Arthur is saying here? Because we haven't finished the series yet, obviously, we're only on episode 2, so we don't know if what Harrow is saying is actually true, because that dude, he kills old ladies for fun.
Yeah.
So you can't really trust an old lady killer. Usually no. But and he also claims to have been Khonshu's previous avatar. Again, this could be a misdirect, so we're not 100% sure if that is actually true.
That's a great point, MT, because, Khonshu's not a great god, but I don't trust anything Arthur Harrow has to say. And I don't really believe, I don't believe that Arthur Harrow was his previous avatar. I don't believe that either. I think he's just playing, he's playing Steven for a fool. Steven's scared. He wants a little lentil soup. He'll believe anything Arthur has to tell him because he's been going through all this crazy stuff lately, right?
This is true. I mean, hey, if I'm this dude who's frazzled and has no idea what's going on, I'm Arthur Harrow, I'm gonna try to manipulate this dude.
Right.
And just be like, all right.
And you're trying to get that scarab back, that sweet, sweet scarab, you know what I mean?
And then immediately kill him for being annoying.
Yeah. He's like, you don't got the scarab? Okay, I'm getting another dog out of hell and I'm gonna kill this son of a bitch. No free soup.
No soup for you.
Also, I know, you're a cult and you want to make the world a better place and it's gonna be this fun, freewheeling place, but do we really have to watch nature documentaries during lunch? I mean,
seriously, something is going on.
Can you put something more fun on the screen? Can we watch The Wire, or watch Better Call Saul? I don't want to have to watch nature documentaries all the day.
Imagine just walking in and just watching The Wire.
Oh, I'll join this cult. We get to watch The Wire? That's a good cult. I'm in, baby.
But is it just Khonshu who is forced to use an avatar? Because we haven't seen any of the Ennead show up on Earth just yet, and even Harrow himself appears to be working to bring back Ammit, so perhaps she too cannot be present on Earth at this time. In the comics, it's also established that Khonshu's father, Adam Ra himself, cannot enter the earthly plane. He also has to choose an avatar to represent him, also known as the Sun King, which is, very interesting to me because there's this whole theme of day and night between Kid Cudi when, of course, Kid Cudi invented the sun and the moon.
He did invent the sun and the moon. Thank you.
Song.
Praise Cudi. Praise Cudi.
Yes. Praise Cudi, the book of Genesis. And of course, Ra is the child of the elder god Gaia in the Marvel comics. And she created Adam Ra, or Ra, to help her kill all of the other bad elder gods on Earth who had basically just turned into these demon-type creatures. And this is where, your Cathons come in. This is like your really not great types of people.
This is like old school Earth, like very far back.
Old, like in the beginning. Like this is like the old school, like the original sort of like Marvel Comics origins. And Ra did just as his mama asked and went around killing all these demons and absorbing all of their powers until he himself became this god-killing monster known as the Demogorg. And once he was done with his task, he flew away to the sun to rest and recharge. Almost like, somebody else that we know from the MCU.
Who do we know? Who do we know that likes to fly into the sun?
But yeah, once he was done with his task, he flew away to the sun to rest and recharge. And around 65 million BC, he came back to Earth as the Demogorg to kill all of the dinosaurs who were controlled by and giving power to the elder god Set, who, in my personal opinion, might just factor into the future of the MCU. I think we're going to see some Set stuff.
Ra killed all the dinosaurs?
That is very strange because I don't know what his beef was with the dinosaurs, but no, I think that Set was drawing power from these beings. And so he was basically just taking all of his food source away.
Well, I think too, part of it was the dinosaurs weren't cutting it as the main rulers of Earth, right? It was this isn't going well. We're going to give the mammals a chance. So Gaia's like, hey, son, I know I haven't talked to you in a long time. My son in the sun. My baby boy in the sun.
My murder son.
I need you to come back and kill all the dinosaurs. The thing that every child throughout the rest of history will love and adore. I need you to murder them because they're powering Set.
Yes. It's we need the Jurassic Park franchise. Murder these dinosaurs.
That's true. MT, in a world where the dinosaurs live on and they don't go extinct, and somehow humans manage to make a go at it, and we get to where we are. And there's dinosaurs and humans living together. Do you think we would like dinosaurs as much? Or we'd be like, ugh. If a different animal had gone extinct instead of the dinosaurs, fish, I don't know. Fish went extinct, right? And we're just we're going to museums and we're like, ooh, fish. Oh, fish. And we're making movies about fish and how cool fish were.
Jurassic fish.
Yeah. They're making,
oh my God, the whales.
They're making cartoons. They're making cartoons about robotic fish and stuff from outer space. And we're like, oh man, I wish I was alive when fish were alive. They would be so cool.
Hey man, that's not too far off.
Hey, oh.
Tune into our apocalypse episode we shot last year.
Oh man,
it's a
every couple
nice,
weeks,
calming thing.
Every couple weeks, I wake up in a cold sweat about that episode, about everything that's gonna go wrong very shortly.
I will never forget that episode. It's from the one PQ that stays in my head. I'm like, oh my God, we're screwed.
Nothing matters.
But anyway, on a lighter note, eventually, Ra would come back to Earth again one more time to create the Heliopolitan race of gods. And so in the comics, the Egyptian gods were created on Earth, but then decide to leave once the pharaohs start ruling things. And they move to the celestial Heliopolis, which is in a dimension next to Earth, not actually on Earth. It appears to be after this move that Ra is no longer able to enter the earthly realm. So could it be the danger that his demigorge form poses, or perhaps a deal he made with Gaia after moving to the celestial Heliopolis?
It is weird. I like this idea that, the demigorg is too dangerous to be on Earth now that people are around and all the dinosaurs are dead. There's no reason for him to be here anymore. And maybe Gaia made that thing where it's you guys can go live in this little dimension and do your thing, have your great little dimension, but you can't come back. You're too dangerous. And you could just wipe out any of the other gods.
And then Ra and his son Khonshu would then go on to battle each other for thousands of years on Earth via their avatars, never bringing the battle to the planet themselves. So why do they stay away? Could something more powerful be keeping them at bay? And could that something be, I don't know, the Celestials?
The Celestials? Not these guys again.
Those assholes always in charge of everything. Because remember that up until very recently, the Celestials had a very little baby cooking inside of our planet by the name of Tiamat. Now, could they have been keeping the Ennead off of our planet to keep their baby Tiamat safe?
You shall not pass!
Oh, That's smart, right? The Celestials, if they know they got like a baby inside the planet, you know, they let the Asgardians come because again, the Asgardians, they're just here to drink and, you know, have some wars, but they keep it mostly located to Norway, you know. Plus the Asgardians, they keep away the giants of Jotunheim, right? They keep away They keep them from taking over the planet and covering in ice and possibly killing Tiamat, right? Because the Celestials need the dominant life form here to take hold and like make enough brain power for Tiamat to come to life. And the Asgardians are helping that because they're fighting off the giants and stuff and like helping life. Odin's doing plenty of life spreading around the planet. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But then like when it comes to, you know, you have Ra and Khonshu just constantly fighting with each other. And we know that Ra can turn into the Demigorg. So maybe the Celestials were like, you guys have got to stay out of here because if you guys keep coming and killing all the people, like our baby's never going to get born. I like that idea that even though these bastard Celestials are just trying to blow up our planet and just using us, in some way they're keeping us safe because they're like, you got to leave Earth alone so that our baby can get born, and then everyone dies and we don't care. But as everything up to that point was pretty nice of them.
Yeah, honestly, I think that Asgard exists to be the janitors for the Celestials.
Oh,
the Celestials
I like this.
Made this universe, and then like they were like, all right, Asgard, you manage it, but all the other gods, you stay out of our business. Do not touch anything.
Earth is closed today.
Because like we know in the comics, this is something that actually happens during one of the celestial hosts, is that, well, the Celestials find out that the gods have been so prevalent on Earth for so long, literally walking amongst us, that they were like, you can't do that no more. This cannot happen. Like, this is our experiment. You guys are messing up our experiment. What's all these religions? I don't know. This has to stop. Do not come back or we will kick your butts. And the gods tried to fight the Celestials, but they got beat down very hard. Like they got shut out immediately.
It's like what they call the Council of Gods or something like, or Godhood or Pantheon, right? So it's like all the gods will get together and be like, oh, hi, I'm Vishnu. Oh, hi, I'm Zeus. Hi, I'm Odin. And I guess, Ra is part of like the Pantheon of gods. Because I think they meet in like a separate place, right? But you're right, MT. Odin was like, look, there's these Celestials out there, and they're gonna, you know, when the third host ends, they're gonna make a fourth host and we'll all get wiped out. We gotta get together. We're gonna build some armor. I'm gonna put the essence of Thor in it. We're gonna fight these Celestials. And then the Celestials come for the fourth host and they're just like, you're dead. Get out of here. Get out of our way. We're Celestials. You can't stop us. What are you, crazy?
Seriously, like literally, I like how you brought that up, because the Destroyer armor from Thor 1 was made specifically to fight Celestials. Because after they got their butts kicked from the Celestials, they were like, we have to prepare.
We gotta get ready.
That was embarrassing.
Guys, that was pretty embarrassing out there. What were you doing, huh? With the rings? What? I don't. Someone do something. You got all those arms. Someone do something. Come on.
And there's also the Panther god Bast to consider, because in the comic, she too is also part of the Ennead, and we've learned that her champion on Earth is the person who wears the mantle of the Black Panther. So again, another Egyptian god who works through avatars.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, yet again, you're right, MT. Another god who like can't come to Earth anymore. Because I would assume that Bast is still alive, still exists. Yeah. Right? Like, it's hard to kill these gods off completely. I mean, Hela seems to be dead, maybe. Like, she's a god, right?
I'm not dead. Yeah. He says he's not dead. Yes, he is. I'm not.
But we didn't see her die, right? She's on Asgard as the Ragnarok happens. So she's maybe dead, but probably not really dead.
I mean, there could be a chance that Ammit is Hela.
Whoa.
There could be a chance.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoop, 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 whoop. That's the big theory alarm going off. Oh my gosh.
Because that's the only real female god that we've seen die, and like she needs to come back. So
Hela as Ra would be Hela Ra. You know what I'm talking about? Like
Hela as Ra. Oh. You mean Hela as Ammit?
Hela as Ammit would be Hela Ammit. You know, that would be awesome. If this last episode is like Hela showing up as Ammit with an alligator head, I'm gonna flip out, dude.
Bro, I would lose my shit. Like it's just, and like her color is green, like her theme.
MT, I'm loving this whole thing.
To be bricked up watching that shit.
Screw these Norse assholes. They don't like me. I'm going over to Egypt, baby. Let's go.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
I mean, I'm really hoping that this show connects Voss to the Ennead, and it's like, I mean, how amazing would it be to see like Voss show up and like talk to a Black Panther? Like, so cool.
It's inevitable. We're gonna see Bast talk to Black Panther, and it's, especially in Wakanda Forever.
If they pass the mantle to someone new, like if Voss makes an appearance, ooh, chills.
I would love if Chadwick actually becomes I would love if that was like really symbolic, is like he becomes a god. Like,
beautiful.
That'd be amazing. But why do we think the Ennead uses avatars, like in general in the MCU?
Okay.
Like,
I really like what you were laying out, MT. That would be a fun way to explain why the avatars have to be here, is because they're just too powerful and they can't get through anymore. Like maybe the Celestials even like trick them into going to the Celestial Holopolis. Because even things like, you know, as I was thinking about it more, like Dormammu, right? He's able to come through to Earth. And he's such a powerful destructive force and was able to come through. Granted, he had to have someone do a spell to like open it up, but eventually he would have come to Earth anyways.
Right.
I like this idea that the Celestials have somehow blocked the pathway so that these gods can't physically come to Earth anymore because they're too powerful and they're too strong. What do you think, MT?
The Eternals basically established that the Celestials are the top dogs. Like no one's above the Celestials.
Yeah.
They were there during the Big Bang. They pre-existed the Big Bang. So like it seems that most of the Asgardian history starts with the Big Bang. The Celestials told them, or like either told them what to do or imprisoned them somewhere far away so that they could not interfere with their affairs.
I like that. I mean, it would be cool too if the Demigorg, you know, if Ra as the Demigorg turns out to be this like tentacle thing that we've been teased with in What If, and also in, you know, Multiverse of Madness, if that's somehow related to Ra somehow and the Demigorg, like that would be really cool to see that all come together.
Honestly,
right
like we know that like the reason why Adam was invented, of course, was to battle Cthon. And it was Cthon's banishment, which is why the Darkhold exists, is because he's writing all of his cool diary stuff about being angry about being kicked out. These tentacled creatures, these elder gods, the people that came before, they're gonna very much factor into these tentacled whatever.
I can't wait to see more of it.
And hey, head to newrockstarsmerch.com to grab our latest Obsession Moon Knight shirt. It's amazing. And we released these new latest Obsession shirts for all of the big series and films. And this one has been a hot commodity.
Ooh,
Look
so
at this.
hot.
Look at this.
Ooh,
I'm wearing it
so
right
hot.
now. I look fly. Look at this. All the women have continued to not talk to me, but I have more confidence to talk to women.
But they're giving you a second look. They give you a second look in that shirt.
Giving me a second look. Ooh, is that Moon Knight? I'm like, no.
Ooh.
Would you like to come to Khonshu's Throne of Bone?
The Throne of Bone!
It's only going to be available for the next few weeks, so grab one while you can at newrockstarsmerch.com, because they're going to go out, and once they leave, you're not going to be able to buy them again. So head on over there immediately. And before we dive into our bite-sized questions next, some words from the people that help bring us Big Question to you. People like Masterclass. Because with Masterclass, you can learn from the world's best minds, anytime, anywhere, and at your own pace. You can learn how to play basketball from Steph Curry, improve your cooking skills with Gordon Ramsay, or learn acting from Samuel L. Jackson. He's Nick Fury. Also, I think he got eaten. Didn't he get eaten in Jaws or something?
He got eaten in Deep Blue Sea, not Jaws.
We're gonna seal off this.
Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue Sea.
And with over 100 classes from a range of world-class instructors, that thing you've always wanted to do is closer than you think. And off-screen producer Zach's mother-in-law has been using Masterclass a ton lately. I don't know how I know that.
How do you know all this information, MT?
Oh man, don't start any rumors, please. And she's trying to write the great American novel. And they've got great classes from writers like Dan Brown, James Patterson, and even R.L. Stein.
Ooh,
Goosebumps.
spooky.
Scary books. Couldn't read them as a kid. Still can't read them now. And they've got classes on filmmaking, art, and business. And you can even learn skateboarding from Tony Hawk, the god himself. That itself should be worth the price of admission. And the best part of Masterclass is how well produced they are. And they aren't boring lectures. They're interactive lessons shot like a movie. And you'll end up binging them like a streaming series. I promise you, they're so good. But I highly recommend you check it out. Get unlimited access to every Masterclass. And as a Big Question audience member, you get 15% off an annual membership, because we like to hook it up for you guys because we love you. So go to masterclass.com/bigquestion right now. That's masterclass.com/bigquestion. big question for 15% off Masterclass. Thank you to Masterclass for sponsoring this video. We love you.
Bomba's mission is simple. Make the most comfortable clothes ever and match every item sold with an equal item donated. So when you buy Bombas, you are also giving to someone in need. Bombas designed their socks, shirts, and underwear to be the clothes you can't wait to put on every day. Everything they make is soft, seamless, tagless, and has a luxuriously cozy feel. They're made from super soft materials like merino wool, Pima cotton, and even cashmere. Oh, Georgie, cashmere, which makes them the perfect cozy layers. There's a pair of Bombas socks for everything you do. They come in tons of options, like comfy performance styles for every sport and activity that keeps you moving. Bombas t-shirts are made with thoughtful design features like invisible seams, soft fabrics, and the perfect weight so they hang just right. Bombas underwear has a barely there feel with second skin support that might make you forget they're even there, in a good way. And did you know that their socks, underwear, and t-shirts are the 3 most requested clothing items at homeless shelters? That's why Bombas donates one for every item you buy. Go to bombas.com/bigquestion and get 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/bigquestion for 20% off. Bombas.com/bigquestion.
But now it is time for the bite-sized questions. What's this?
Oh, you found one.
Delicious. Delicious. Where did Hela's wolf companion Fenris originally come from? This is from Checkers on Toast from Twitter. Checkers on Toast, delicious.
Well, we first meet Fenris in Thor Ragnarok when Hela uses the Eternal Flame to resurrect him along with her army of berserkers.
Yes.
Fenris was, of course, her loyal companion during Hela's early days of conquering the 9 realms with her papa, until he decided that she was too much of a liability and locked her away. Great parenting move, Odin. Yeesh. This guy, what a jerk. I mean, we were already talking about him earlier, but man, bad dad.
Really bad dad.
Really
the MCU is
bad
full of bad dads.
What a bad dad. And every movie, he's always like, I don't want to deal with this problem. And then like finally his sons are getting along. He's like, I'm just going to die now. It's like, all right. But where did Fenris originally come from, right? Well, in the MCU, it's kind of hard to say. But what is the history of Fenris in the comics? Like a lot of Asgardian stuff, Fenris has a counterpart in real Norse mythology where he is known by the name of Fenrir, Fenrisulfur. I don't know how to say it. Fenrisulfur. All these Norse words are tough, man. And much like his mythological origins in the comics, Fenris is the offspring of Loki and the giant Angerboda. While Fenris usually takes...
I think I dated an Angerboda.
No comment. Angerboda is just a mean name to give a female giant, I feel like. But that is from Norse mythology, too. In the comics and in Norse mythology, Fenris is the offspring of Loki and Angerboda, who's a giant. But in
some weird-ass sperm, Brandon.
I mean, I don't ask how it works. It just works, okay?
Don't ask questions.
Well, in the comics, Fenris can appear as like a 15-foot tall wolf, or he has the ability to take the form of a god. So he can also kind of take like a human-esque form, but mostly hangs out as a wolf. It also says that it's believed Loki's the dad. Like, it's kind of not super clear. Like, he doesn't want to admit it. I don't know. So some weird stuff happens, and Fenris gets banished to Varheim after he attacks the goddess Iduna, who is the keeper of the golden apples of immortality, which these are the things that like Odin needs to eat to stay immortal. Now, this story actually becomes the basis for the tale of Little Red Riding Hood, according to Marvel Comics, and potentially in our realm as well, according to some historians. So the story of Fenris attacking Iduna for the golden apples is like from real Norse mythology. It works its way into Marvel Comics. In both of those worlds, in the Marvel world and in our world, they think that like this story is one of the many stories that leads to creating the story of Little Red Riding Hood. Because the main point of that story was to like stay out of the woods because you'll get eaten alive, right? It's an easy way to tell kids like don't go around in the woods because you might die. A wolf could eat you, or a man could take you and do bad things to you, or
I'm pretty
both
sure that's
could
the
be
last
true.
line of Little Red Riding Hood. The moral of the story is
the moral of the story is don't
to the rules
go around in the
you
woods.
eat.
Because if a wolf eats you, ain't no one gonna cut you out of the stomach and find you alive. He's gonna find you in little bits and pieces.
You'll be wolf poop.
Yeah,
you'll be
wolf
coming out
poop.
of his Fenrir as Fenrir.
Oh, daddy. So yeah, I love this idea that like Fenris is like the origin of like the big bad wolf. He is the big bad wolf, which is very fun. Fenris also plays a role in the prophecy of Ragnarok, which is fitting that he should appear in Thor Ragnarok. According to the prophecy, Fenris will be the one who devours Odin. Again, this is in real Norse mythology and in Marvel Comics. So this is probably why they decide to chain up Fenris on Valheim so he can't just like roam free around there. Odin has the dwarves forge the Gleipnir, which is a light but mostly indestructible chain that becomes stronger the more you struggle against it. Fenrir is like kind of hanging out in Valheim, and they're like, look, we want to put this chain on you, but you'll be fine. You can still walk around. And he's like, okay, I don't trust you gods at all because you've already banished me to this place. He's like, if you're going to put this chain on me, and this is the Gleipnir, and it looks really light, it's very light, and he's like, I can break out of this. This is easy, right? But he doesn't trust these gods. So he's like, if you're going to put this chain on me, one of you has to be like, have your hand in my mouth. And if I figure out that I'm locked here, I'm going to bite your hand. And all the gods are like, I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that. And this one god, Tyr, is like, okay, I'll do it. I'll be the one to step up. I'm brave. I'll do it. He does it. They put the Gleipnir on. Fenrir moves a little and realizes he's not going to break it. And he's like, you son of a bitch. And he bites that hand right off. He just bites that hand off.
Hey, he warned you.
He warned you. Also in the comics, Hela once tried to set off Ragnarok herself by freeing Fenrir to kill off Odin, but Thor stopped her before she was able to do it. But she knew that like this is part of Ragnarok, so I'll just let him go to get things really popping off. But all of that like comics history doesn't tell us much about Fenris's history in the MCU, given that the timelines are a little different for how things play out, right? Hela appears to have existed in a time well before Loki and Thor were even around. So we don't really know how Fenris came about in the MCU, and he likely didn't even play any role in Ragnarok that we saw because Odin was already gone, so he didn't eat Odin. He was there, but like, you know, it's possible he's still alive along with Hela, just kind of like floating around in space after Asgard got destroyed. But there's one thing that you could consider. If Hela comes like way before the Loki and Thor that we know, maybe there was another Loki and Thor that was alive during her time, and she saw them die, and she doesn't bring it up to our Loki and Thor, and because Ragnarok is cyclical, right? The events of Ragnarok keep happening in a circle. In the comics, they kind of stop it. Thor puts a stop to all of it and resets the wheel or whatever. But I like this idea that there was another Loki and Thor that she maybe knew, and she was like, I'm not going to tell these guys about those guys because they'll just freak out on me and I don't want to deal with it. Yeah, we don't really know where the MCU's Fenris came from, but who knows? Yeah. Maybe he's from another time, another universe. Who knows?
Yo, if Fenris is just floating out in space out there and we are getting the high evolutionary, I say, pick him up. Pick him up and make him into a cyborg like the man-wolf. Yeah. Like the man-wolf is a big part of the mythos of the high evolutionary, so let's go.
Also, can you imagine if you're just like in a spaceship and all of a sudden you just hit this giant wolf and he's like, and you're like, how do we fight a wolf in space? I don't know.
That's the beginning of Infinity War. They run into Fenris instead. Fenris is the one who arrives at Wakanda. That would be insane.
Oh, man. That would be insane.
I would equally freak out. That would be so cool.
That would be really cool.
But no, now it's time for the box of scraps.
Ooh, box of scraps.
Put him in the cave with a box of scraps. William. Damn it, William. Can't believe William is an MCU villain now. That's so crazy.
He deserves it. He earned it. He worked hard.
He really did. If you could design your own avatar to walk around on Earth, what special features would you give it?
You know, my instinct is to say, if I'm going to make an avatar for myself, I want to give it like flight powers, right? But I think that's a negative. I don't think flying is all it's cracked up to be. It's going to be cold up there, you know, and a big question almost a year ago, MT, I think we talked about like the bugs, all the bugs you'd run into, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like in the sky, just flying around and like, you know, they always make flying seem fun, but unless you can go really fast, it takes forever to get somewhere, right? It's not like if you're flying as fast as you can run. I mean, I guess if you're flying super fast. So yeah, flying's out. Forget it. I don't want flying. That's too much. But I would like a little extra boost to my ground speed. I'd like a little boost to my ground speed. You know what I mean? I'd like to be able to run a little faster. I think laser eyes. I don't know why, but I want some laser eyes. I think they'd just be useful.
Laser eyes would be dope.
I think they'd be...
I mean, like, hey, the world runs on fire, basically.
Yeah,
and, like, you always have
a little bit of fire
to go. Just...
But, dude, it would be hard to hold back if, like, you were in an argument with somebody and you're just, like, getting angry.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes, you know, I don't want to say it. Sometimes I see Homelander's point, where it's just like, if someone's in your face and they're going off and they're jawing at you, you're just like, oh, yeah, you know what? Pew! Right through their head. Just like, pew!
Hey,
You're done.
sometimes you just gotta
You just
murder some
Just
people
like,
with laser vision.
So yeah, my avatar, like a little faster on the ground speed, laser eyes, and then boom, purple hair. Just like straight purple hair.
Ooh,
Like,
okay, I dig that.
I would have,
dig that.
it would
I
be
dig
fun to have like colorful hair in the real world, but it's so much upkeep and so much work, and your shower gets ruined from all the hair dye. Like, if you could just have naturally purple hair, that would be great. That would be great. So I'm basically an anime character running around. That's my avatar, I guess.
Basically, My Hero Academia
Yeah.
character. Yes.
What about you, MT?
I think that I would probably. I just feel like the world has a really huge like love deficit problem. So like I would just like have an avatar, just like a love avatar. Just be like, hey man.
Oh, okay.
Like every time you heard him like speak or something, you just felt like comfort.
Oh, so we're gonna boost your charm. You know, your charm's gonna be boosted, and then like
all the way charisma.
Well, charisma's all the way to the top. Do they have empathy? If they have an empathy meter, we'll turn your empathy meter way up.
Yes,
so you can always sense.
And like I want his superpower to be like every time he gave somebody a hug.
Oh, okay.
Like they just felt like insane amounts of like comfort and love. I think that just would be.
It would be like in Rick and Morty when he makes like pure level, right? And Morty stands on pure level. And he's just
Morty freaked out.
You're like pure love, right? If someone hugs you, they get the sense of like perfect love, and they're just like,
yes,
so content.
And then when they stop hugging me, they freak out. It's like I feel empty inside.
And you're gonna be like, well, you know what? That's gonna be $100 for the next hug. Now you're a drug dealer, MT.
For 5 more minutes, $100. That's how I get them hooked. But that is it for this episode of Big Question. Again, huge thank you to my brother, Brandon, for joining me on this episode.
Thank you, MT.
Please follow him at Barrick on Twitter. He's a great man, an amazing man. Follow me at MasterTainment to see me tweet some really weird shit and wild theories. And follow New Rockstars here on YouTube and all our social media platforms. And when you do, just hit that bell so you can get notifications every time we upload a video. And of course, please hit up newrockstarsmerch.com to find this amazing shirt, this Moon Knight shirt, and our Moon Knight hoodie, and all of our just amazing merch over there. But also, if you have some big questions of your own, ask them on our New Rockstars Discord server. But only if you're 18 and older. Just click that link in the description to join today. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. We love you and appreciate you guys so much, so much. And we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Ta-ta.